Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we are going to be looking and talking and playing the best of the best at the moment in the game. So this tank right here currently has the highest average damage done in the game. So people are performing well in this tank. They're playing it and they are doing damage. Currently, over the last update, this has 2.2k average damage. So an average damage of 2.2k is actually very, very, very good. And of course, we are talking about the Rinoceronte. Now, this tank, I think, is one of the best tier 10 tanks currently. I think it is fantastic. I love this tank. So we're going to look at the stats and then we are going to get into some games. So the turret on the thing is just over 200 millimeters on the front, and your hull is 130 millimeters. So the turret is not nothing special. The turret is okay. I mean, the armor is not nothing special. Of course, the hull, yes, it's not fantastic, but I don't think this tank is really looked at about the armor profile. It's about everything else with the tank. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So your DPM, again, is on the low side, not really on the low side, but for a heavy tank, you know, 2,592, not the best, but again, it is an auto loader. So you have 3.3 seconds in between each shell, and then well, it's not an auto loader, it's an auto reloader. So you shoot the first shell and it's well, you shoot the second shell, it's 9.72. You shoot the first shell, it's kind of backwards. So shell 1 is actually the second shot you shoot at 9.72, and shell 2 is 8.33. So you know, along with the 3.3 seconds intra clip, the reload is not that crazy. I don't think the reload is that bad. Of course, it only has 2 shells. Your penetration is 278 on your AP, 362 on your heat. Again, we are running this with calibrated shells, so you can get that up a little bit if you wanted, but I still think you should run it with the calibrated shells. You've got a 420 alpha, again, which is quite nice. So both shells, if you shoot twice, you could do upwards of 840, sometimes even a little bit more than that. So not too bad at all. Your heat is 370 and your HE is 520. You've got an aim time of 3.2 seconds, which isn't crazy, isn't nothing special, but it's not that bad. And your dispersion is 0.335. Again, not crazy, not really bad, but you know, it could be better. 7 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 40 kilometers per hour, which again is actually very, very good for a heavy tank. Now, this tank is, looking at stat wise, it's all about doing damage. You know, it's the highest, it's the best stat when it comes to damage, and I'm not surprised. I really am not surprised that this tank is up there at number 1. Like, you know, it's, people are doing well in it, people are performing in it, and that's what you want to see. And the best thing about it, you know, it's not a premium tank, it's not a tank that you have to spend a lot of money on. It is a tech tree tank, which does also mean that eventually, you know, if the stats keep building on it, if they keep getting better, yes, in future it may, I'm not saying it will, it may get nerfed. I don't know. People are doing damage in it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be nerfed if it is number 1. Like, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it could. If the stats keep rising and people keep performing really, really well in the tank, then it may be subject to a nerf. But we will wait and see. It's not happening. I don't know any inside information, so it might not happen. It may never happen. You know, you never know. But as I've said, what I love about the tank is because it has that auto reloader, and people that have been around the channel knows that the auto loading system I absolutely love. I really do love the auto reloading system. So we're in a situation now where we're up against a Russian medium tank, a tank with fantastic DPM. You know, a lot of people would be saying, Meadsy, you need to reload both shells. And yes, you know, I probably should be reloading both shells to deal with this guy. But you know, I'm reloading 1 shell at a time, and we still manage to deal with the T62A. You know, so that is what you can do with this tank. Of course, I would have probably been able to deal with him a lot sooner if we would have reloaded both shells together and then shot both shells at the not at the same time, but instead of just reloading one shell then reloading that same shell again, if we would have just reloaded both shells, we would have probably been able to reload to deal with him a little bit sooner. But a lot of the other tanks, you know, a lot of the other auto reloaders, then yeah, you would want to reload a few shells to be able to deal with him. But you know, with the Rinoceronte, I just feel you don't really need to. Like, yes, of course, it's all about DPM. You know, you reload both shells, you shoot both shells, you reload both shells, you shoot both shells, or you shoot one shell, reload, shoot one shell, wait to them to get down to a one shot, then you can kind of deal with them a lot quicker. I get that, it's better DPM, but again, with the Rinoceronte, I just feel that it isn't necessary. Like here now, you could reload that first shell again, but no, you know what? 457 damage is still a decent amount of damage to do. And at this point in the game, you know, let's just take one shot at a time. Let's take another shot. And yes, we are bouncing on him, which is our mistake. We should have aimed better. But, you know, it is what it is. We still managed to pick up 3k damage. So let's try and get a bit of HE into him. Didn't really work. But, you know, still 3.5k damage. It was still 3.5k damage. Can we get the final shot? No, we can't. And you could do that regularly. And like I said, most of my games is sort of 3k plus, and you can do that very, very easily. Like, it's very easy to pump up that damage like very quickly in this tank. Sometimes you don't realize just how quickly you are pumping up that damage. So here, let's just have another game. Here we are pushing sideways. Now, you can't rely on the armor, so I wouldn't rely on the armor on this thing. So yes, we're pushing forward, but I'm going to play it a little bit safe. I've got a Jaegeru in front of me, Jagdpanzer E100 right in front of me. What I don't want to do is come out and just get obliterated by him. I want him to either take a shot on the T22, or I'm just going to be patient and I'm going to wait, because there's a T22 behind him. So, you know, at this point in the game, you know, I'm not going to be greedy. I'm just going to wait, because the T22 is behind him. He's doing damage, and if he carries on just staying there, then of course he will die. So unfortunate bounce there, but again, I am on a reload, so I'm just going to leave that guy. I'm just going to leave the T22 to deal with that guy, because we were losing, but we managed to of course kill him, and now it is a 5 versus 5. So now again, what I should have done there is just waited. That is what I do really bad with auto reloaders. I tend to forget about the reload. I was 1 second away from reloading the second shell, so I should have actually reloaded both shells there, but I decided, you know, stupid me, I didn't. So that was my fault. I could have been able to clear the mouse by now. I could have been able to clear him, but luckily he doesn't seem the best of players, and he has taken the shot. Let's just take one more shot into him, and again, these kind of situations is where you may want to reload both shells. Now, I was unfortunate there on leaving this guy on 14 hit points, but you know, it doesn't matter. I'm full hit points. Let's clear him, and before you know it, there's just 2 tanks left alive. One is a one shot, and of course the FV4005, who is also juicy. So let's go around the corner. We were about to win on supremacy points. I'm full hit points, so I could just rush him, but no. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait to reload my second shell. So actually, before we end the game, I may be able to have time for one more shot, and we do just that. But you know, he kills that guy, so maybe we've got time to reload one shell and take this guy out. Can we do it? Can we get around the corner? Just. Now, that was just 3k damage, but again, we managed to do that very, very easily. So I'm not surprised at this tank is top of the tree when it comes to average damage. I've said it before, it is one of the best tier 10 tanks currently in the game, and the fact that it is a tech tree tank, everybody can go and get it, everybody can go enjoy it before it does get nerfed, if it gets nerfed. So let me know your thoughts on the Rinoceronte in the comments below. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm Meadsy, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.